Today is July 31st, 2026, and it's been more than 1 year since I've been working the job I'm currently working as a gas station pump attendant. So this is the garage. I'm not working here, the mechanics are, but I work on weekends regularly, and I'm very often alone here. But I work in the pumps, which I can show you right there. These pumps, some clients come, I pump the gas for them, and I make them pay. Sometimes I put uh, liquids inside their cars, add oil to their motor, check tire pressure, put some air in there. That's about the job that I do. I've been doing this job therefore for 1 year, and the reason I wanted to make this video is because about 2 or 3 years ago, my dad told me to work a job for at least a year. A good job. You keep it. You work hard for at least 1 year, and then you will be able to understand the real value of money. And since I've been here for 1 year, I can confidently say that it's true, 100%. At first, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making up some quote. I could also say that maybe because he's my dad, I would just say, "Wow, he's right." But no, it's actually just checking for clients. It's actually real. He's actually right. But 1 year here, it changed my whole perspective about money. So I used to work in a fast food for 3 days. 3 days when I was 13. I used to work in that fast food restaurant, and I worked there for 3 days before quitting. I quit. I really didn't like it. And after that, I didn't get another job until this one. I'm currently 17 years old, soon to be 18 in 1 or 2 months. And I had this job when I was 16. Between these two jobs, the first one wasn't really a job since I kept it for 3 days. But between these two, the only way I was making money is either my parents, because at first they didn't want me to get a job. They really wanted me to focus on school. So they told me, if you need some money or need us to buy you something or subscribe to you to anything, a sports class, whatever it is, just tell us, right? And we'll figure it out. Because they didn't want me to get a job and then lose focus of school. They really wanted me to focus on it. And at that time, the only way I was making money was by selling things on Facebook Marketplace. So it was either my personal stuff, or I would just buy some good deals on Facebook Marketplace and little items. Like I remember I bought a Google Daydream VR headset, which is a headset you put in by Google, but you have to put your phone inside. So it's I think it's $20 to $50, something like that. So at some point I bought it, but I would only buy cool stuff that I would use before reselling them. So I would buy it, I would use it for like 1 week, 2 weeks before it sells, and then once it sells, I just sell it, keep the profit. And that's about how I made money. And I always delivered my items to clients, offer that for free, to be guaranteed to have the sale. And I used to ride my bike around and just deliver to people, even though they were at the other end of Montreal, even an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of bike just for $20, I would do it. I did it because it was still money for me, and I didn't have much to do. I didn't have many responsibilities or anything. When you're 14, 15, I didn't have many responsibilities. After school, I had all my time, except for a couple sports classes or anything like that. That's it. That's how I used to make my money. And so $200 or $300 in my account was a lot. It was a miracle. It was wow. And I used to save. I didn't spend anything. Well, not anything, but it's rare that I spend. I remember I saved for a gym membership. I think that was my first subscription that I took, gym membership. But other than that, this was the only way I was making money before this job. And money was rare, and so I said, okay, let me save it up. Maybe I won't buy little things. I'll instead save it up and buy a big thing off of it. Now in this job, it was much different because I have a client. I'll be right back. So as I was saying, that was the only money I would have, and it was rare. But when I had this job, it hit hard the amount of money that I would get. So at first, I used to work every week because it was a friend who referred to me this job, and I would get paid about 200 something per weekend. And at first I worked every single weekend for the summer, and I made there for $800 a month, around there. Yeah. But that was only for 2 months before he came back after the summer, so that didn't last long. When he came back, we did half. He does 1 week, I do 1 week, and this is what we still do right now. So right now I make $400 a month, about 400, not including replacements, because I replace people sometimes when people ask me for replacements, or sometimes I do get replaced. Let's say I want to do something the weekend, or I have something planned or anything like that, just ask for anybody for replacement, and that's obviously less hours, less money. Like today is Friday. I normally don't work on Fridays. I'm replacing somebody today, and I'm replacing somebody tomorrow morning as well. So, yeah, compared to the amount of money that I would get by selling on Facebook Marketplace, the difference was huge. So, as I said, it hit hard. So I was like, wow, I make this money, I make it in 1 weekend what used to take me like 1 or 2 or 3 months to make. So I'm gonna spend. And it's recurring as well, it will come back. It's not like the other 200 or 300 that I had by selling products on Facebook Marketplace that won't come back. This one I'll just work next weekend and I'll get 200 again. So I used to spend in the beginning, but then I realized I gotta calm down. I might want to save a little just for emergency, or maybe big purchase, or just spend my money more in a more smart way, because I didn't at first I didn't spend it in a smart way where I would buy only small things. Like I think I used to buy food at some point for a very short amount of time, but then I realized that this was not good and I had to change, etc. So it didn't last long, but after a while I used to manage my money better and be able to learn how to manage it properly, because at first you take a big shock when you realize what a difference it is compared to the money I used to make. Then when you realize it's not a lot, etc., you calm down a little bit. Especially after I started, therefore, since I had recurring revenue, I started taking classes for kickboxing. I had a gym subscription. So these things I had to pay the monthly, my phone plan as well, and my transport card, because it was my first year going into college as well when I got the job. So a lot of things, I had a lot of money coming in, but I also had a lot of expenses I had to cover. So I had to learn how to spend it responsibly and well, manage it well, know how much I'm allowed to spend. Because if I didn't, if I spent it recklessly, I would realize it one way or another, because at some point one payment would get declined, I wouldn't have enough money to pay for that or this. So it would be very visible, the amount of management skills I lack, if I do lack some at some point. So it became very visible, and that was a lesson that I learned the hard way, let's say. Because when you need to pay for something and then you realize you didn't have as much money as you thought you did, and then you can't pay that thing, then it becomes a whole hassle, and then you don't want that to happen again. And so you learn from that, which I did. So to come back to my father's point, he was right. After 1 year, you realize the real value of money because you worked very hard for it. It's not as simple as asking my parents when I was younger, hey, can I have this, can I have that, can I have this kind of money? I have another client, I'll be back. So, as I was saying, once again, I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have much left to say. Just that this job really taught me how to manage money. Obviously, I'm not like a accountant level or anything special about managing money, but it's just the lesson that it teaches you in a rough way, but also a good way to learn how to manage money. After 1 year of working, it passed by very fast, extremely fast. I really didn't see that coming when I thought about the fact that, wow, in a couple of months it's going to be 1 year working here. I couldn't believe it. It passed by super fast, and lessons were quick. I'm pretty sure that's all I have to say.